As you probably know, Void Cascade is arguably the best platinum farm in the game. Now, what about a Void Cascade Fissure? Well, I level capped the new Omnia Fissure Void Cascade, and the results were surprising to say the least. So this is the aftermath of the run. Also a disclaimer, we did use a mod drop booster, increasing the amount of Arcanes that dropped. The plat amount gained also heavily relies on what kind of relics your team will be opening. We were kind of just opening random relics since it was just a test run. The first thing I noticed was the amount of time it took us to get there was quite a bit longer. Usually it takes about 1 hour to level cap regular Cascade with a good team, but it took us about 1.5 hours. That wasn't only because of the waiting time where you choose a prime part or choose a relic to crack, but sometimes the Extolizer just had a delayed spawn. We can only hope this is a bug and not a feature, but for now it is not known. Honestly, the amount of stuff we got at the end was pretty solid, more steel essence than usual, a lot of void traces, keeping up with reactant was pretty okay as well, but we did skip some because of our strategy used for this run. And finally you will get more resources since it is a fissure and you get stacking rewards. But that was all at the cost of Arcanes that dropped from Thrax, since less of them spawned. So this is the thing. In case they fix the bug, and Extolizers start spawning normally in Fissure runs, this will definitely be the new best platform. And if they don't, well, the regular and Fissure Cascade will stay very close in value and remain arguably the best platform anyway, so let's learn how to play it, shall we? The frame I used today was Ash. If you are wondering what the 5 yellow shards are, yeah, gotta go fast. We focus on duration, efficiency and strength. The range on this build is relevant, so we keep it low. Seeking Shuriken allows us to armor strip the Thrax and Acolytes. Our sustain is Prime Flow and Arcane Energize. With these you will never run out of energy. For survivability we have Rolling Guard and Prime Surefooted. If you don't have Prime Surefooted, it's okay. You just need to be a bit more careful, but it doesn't make or break the build. We have Growing Power and Molt Augmented for even more strength. And why we even need the strength? Because of Zata's Whisper. This will boost our weapon damage greatly against the Thrax. The weapon we use to kill fodder enemies will be the one and only Glaive Prime. With it we can easily kill level cap enemies with purely slash procs. Your regular Glaive build utilizing base damage, crit chance, crit damage and heavy attack mods. Remember that the faction mod is very important if you plan to go for level cap. Melee Retaliation to make our slash even better. And lastly, Dispatch Overdrive to make us glide through the mission even quicker. If you don't have a Riven, just use Gladiator Might instead. For the weapon we use to kill the Thrax, we have Laetum. Since we don't need the faction mod and we build for non-crit, we have a high amount of base damage and elemental damage. Together with multi-shot and fire rate, you will just absolutely melt the Thrax even at level 9999. Since we will be getting most of our kills with our Glaive, we have secondary dexterity. If you want to use Deadhead, you can, but this takes significantly more effort and it's honestly overkill. For the evolutions we have Fire Rate, Reload Speed on Headshot, plus status chance minus crit chance, and the holy 2000% damage boost on non-crits. These don't really change unless you plan to play the crit build. Lastly, we have our primer, Bubonico. We use Bubonico when we get to higher levels. It can help with fodder enemies and Thrax as well. Only really use the alternate fire since that's the one that spreads statuses like crazy. We have Viral Heat once again, with as much multi-shot and status chance as possible. Some fire rate and reload speed to just make everything smoother. Primary dexterity since there is not really anything else useful to run here. Operator and amp setup is really important and will decide the flow of the cascade, so let's prepare properly for it. For the amp I usually use 5-4-7. You can use many combinations of arcanes, but I suggest these. 1, 5 or 7 on the first slot, 4 or 7 on the second slot, and 7 for the last slot. If the numbers are confusing you, this will make it easier. Kantik, Clamora, Raplak, Propa, ICBA. For the operator arcanes, we have Magus Melt, giving us hit damage on Void Sling. This will be extremely useful on high levels and you want to try to keep the uptime as high as possible whenever you shoot the Thrax. Emergent Savior is here in case you get randomly exploded, and that does happen on Cascade. I don't need to tell you how good invulnerability is in Warframe. We have Eternal Onslaught for more crit chance and Eternal Eradicate for more damage. You will see how all of these synergize really well with each other and especially together with our school. Speaking about the devil, the school we use for today is Madurai. This is by far the strongest school for specifically damage done with Operator. If you don't count Unairu's Armor Strip, well, we have Armor Strip from elsewhere. So Phoenix Talons gives us more base damage, Power Transfer gives us more crit damage, and Cast Speed for our frame. Contamination Wave is our second ability, which gives us even more Operator damage. Void Strike is basically in Carnon mode for the amp for 8 seconds, and Sling Strength gives our Warframe more strength. Now you have a choice. You can be me and possibly grieve the run by having Smita Kavat in hopes of getting double or quadruple Steel Essence drops, at the cost of getting crit chance from the Smita, which will absolutely cripple your damage done with Laetum. Then you can decide to be a normal person and just run a Nautilus or Panzer Wolfaphyla. Gameplay wise, try to have Laetum morphed whenever the Thrax spawns. Prime with your Bubonico, Armor Strip with Shuriken, and blast them with Laetum. Once the Thrax is transforming to the ghost form, proc all of your Operator and amp damage Arcanes and aim for the head. If you did everything correctly, this whole process doesn't take longer than just a couple seconds. Usually in a cascade you will want 2 people defending the already captured Exilizers and 2 people taking over the new Exilizers. This setup is more for attacking, but you could be defending as well if necessary. Make sure your stealth is up at all times. In case you get any kind of status proc, just roll dodge and make use of your rolling guard. Now, we don't really have a predetermined weapon for taking care of acolytes, but honestly, as long as they are stripped, they are very squishy, and Shuriken does work on them. In case any of your teammates get downed, just go to Operator, press Ctrl for stealth, and resurrect them. This is the safest way to do it because of Emergent Savior. If you ever forget your other buffs and the Ghost Thrax has already spawned, just click your panic button, aka Void Strike, and the Thrax will be deleted. If you are looking for a defending frame specifically, let's take a look at Octavia. Go for duration, strength, and range. Partitioned Mallet will allow us to keep multiple Exilizers under control and not get overflown by enemies. With the power of Energy Siphon, Octavia's passive, Prime Flow, and Nourish, we will have plenty of energy to go around. And let's not forget that Nourish gives more damage and sustain to ourselves and our teammates. And of course, 2 of the most used Arcanes for this frame, Augmented for more strength and Efficiency for more duration. Since Octavia doesn't have Armor Strip from base kit, I added 2 green shards for max corrosive stacks. This allows you to run weapons like Torrid or Dual Toxocyst, for example, and strip enemies with ease. Here's the Toxocyst and it is absolutely cracked. Was it worth it? Well, yes and no. Steve, please fix the delayed spawn. That's all for today. I wish all of you big platinum gains. If you want to learn more about Warframe, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads. I will catch you in the next one.